no longer want. So this conversation is about the liberation from neurosis, liberation from psychological suffering. And the conversation is respectful to the degree of emotional wounds that you may have been exposed to. Many of us have had horrible experiences, and with very early exposure to very significant disappointment, very significant horrors. And we still proceed with the process of liberating ourselves as adults. And in that process, discerning the difference between a conception and a actuality is quite critical. Are they ultimately different? Perhaps not. Well, absolutely not. However, without the tool of making the distinction between thoughts and realities, so to speak, we will be caught in conception. In other words, we become trapped in the idea of ourself and in the idea of our world. So ideas must be distinguished, differentiated from the actuality where, for example, gardens grow, where wounds heal. This actuality is not the world of conception, though conceptions arise from that same source. So I'd like you to stick with me and relax because for many of us, we have not been exposed to this type of conversation. And it's going to take just a moment of thoughtfulness. Conceptions tend to be a story about yourself and the world. And in that story, there is, so to speak, a star of the show, a protagonist. And the world of the actual is distinguishable from conceptions. In the world of actuality, there is no particular person there. In other words, who is reigning? Who is making the plant grow? We arrive at the idea that no one is. No one is blowing the wind. No one is raining. No one is nature, save that ultimate, all-embracing existence that may well be you. However, we are not organizing it at this time like that. Why? Because we need to be letting go of self-consciousness. We need to have another modality that's going to help us with our emotional wound, another way of being. That other way of being does not have to do with self-esteem. It's not self-esteem. It is flow. It is allowing. So there's differences. Nature itself, the wholeness of nature, the one thing, the indivisible existence that we're participating in already works. We are manifestations of that life. It's taking no effort for you to listen to me, no effort for you to see, no effort for you to circulate your blood, to breathe. It is not you doing it. Thus, you are in a collaboration with an all-embracing higher power, if you will. You'd call it nature, God, spirit. That is what all of us are participating in, and of course, it is the ground of being. If we conceptualize it, thinking that, we're that person, it does not actually actualize that. We can talk further about it. What we're doing right now is generating the distinction. And yes, we're working in the field of conception. We're looking towards the actual, distinguishing the actual and the conceptual. The conceptual are things. The actual is no thing. The conceptual is the ideas of what's going on. The actual is the source, the potential for ideas, the potential for a growing garden, the potential for manifestation. That potential contains all manifestations. It's very wealthy. It is the abode of wealth. It is the abode of supply. And we now must access that supply. That supply, that void, that emptiness, that actuality is indeed the Holy Grail. It is the enlightenment, it is the awakening, it is the source of supply, it is the kingdom of God that men miss. And folks, not that many of us are pointing to it. So here's what's going on. We are often caught in the world of conception. Even our therapists and our ministers are in the world of ideas, forgetting the emptiness, the critical factor of bringing our attention to non-conceptual awareness. That is the kingdom that men miss. And this is it, of course. Take a look again. It's difficult to see because it has no attributes. People miss the value of it because of that. However, this is where your wounds heal. This is from where you breathe. This is from where you are seeing me, hearing. Recognize that this is a true friend. Beginning to live with this emptiness is the beginning to live with a higher power. You are more a higher power than you are yourself. You are more a higher power than you are the conception that you believe to be yourself. That self that you believe that you are, thinking that that's the bottom line, does not know how to hear, walk, talk, love, sleep, urinate, the whole bit. Doesn't know how to do it. We have a perceptual distortion occurring. We believe we are the doers of action, which is legitimate. Let's keep the concept of the self. However, if you think conceptions are breathing, if you think conceptions are sleeping, if you think conceptions are the nature of existence, hey, you're in a deluded condition. So cut it out. Take a look again. This relaxation is the relaxation of the storyline in which you're the protagonist. The self-consciousness, folks, has to drop. You need to reduce the self-consciousness. Best way to do it is to recognize that this higher power is all-embracing, therefore it's void. In other words, it's one without another. Same thing as nothing. It's no thing. It takes two things to be a thing or not a thing. This is where the garden grows. This is what's looking at this video. This is your friend. This is the Holy Grail, the kingdom that men miss.